Number 14. That's where Talkers Magazine ranked Tavis Smiley on their Heavy 100 list of the 100 most important talk radio hosts in America. Join Tavis weekdays, 9 a.m. to noon or 9 p.m. to midnight, only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome in. Happy Wednesday. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Happy July. First up, happy birthday to Evelyn Champagne King and happy 28th birthday to Chloe Bailey. Shout out to the cancers in the building. All right, listen, of course, you know, this is the show where we cover all the trending topics and headlines with a little bit of facts, context, and culture attached. And, you know, we have some R&B tour news tonight, some film news, a heartbreaking family update, and some more NFL news. So a mixed bag. But in general, the main conversations for tonight, we're talking Danny Glover. He has opened up about his Alzheimer's diagnosis. And it's more than just a celebrity health story, right? It's about aging and Black men and family care. And, you know, as our bodies change, elder care is something that we got to talk about. And our plans for the future involving things like that, right? We're also going to get into, it is all up in the business Wednesdays, but we're getting into a little different type of business this Wednesday. We're also going to talk about Young Miami's Spin That. Now, we know the song is bubbling up. It's taking over. It's the summer anthem thus far. But there are some that are not feeling the public love of the song. And spoiler alert, it's two female artists. So we're going to talk a little bit about whether the critique is fair or not. And, you know, why every conversation about women in rap seems to come here. So we'll get into those details, and we're going to talk a little bit about Chris Brown. We know he has embarked on the R&B tour with Usher, but he's also been ordered to pay nearly $13 million after a jury found him and his company liable for a dog attack involving a former housekeeper. But before we get into those details, speaking of the R&B tour, Mario has joined on to be an opening act officially. The tour kicked off last Friday at Empower Field in Denver. And listen, R&B is having one of those catalog as currency moments, right? Mario being added kind of makes sense. He was in that bridge time when Chris came out, when Usher was dominating. So it gives you a bit of that nostalgia. And, you know, he's not just a side dish tour. Tank, I believe, is on that tour as well. Maybe Eric Bellinger. So, you know, a good night out, especially for those prices. I mean, seriously. Also, Not sure if you're familiar with influencer Nara Smith. She made waves when she would make things like bagels and cereal from scratch, all in couture. She became a big phenomenon, her and her family. Well, she shared that her 2-year-old daughter, Whimsy Lou, was diagnosed with cancer late last year. She said at the time of the diagnosis, she did not want to publicly specify the type of cancer or her daughter's current condition, but she wanted to, let people be aware. And, compassion and privacy, even for someone who has lived their life out loud, including their child, is, I think, a very fair thing in this instance. So, we're going to send prayers, love, thoughts, and all of that to she and her family. And NFL player Calais, I believe that's how you pronounce his first name, Campbell. We're sending love and light to his family. His mother, Nietal Campbell, 71, was found murdered in Atlanta, and his brother, Sierra, has been charged with murder, aggravated assault, and possession of a deadly weapon during the commission of a felony. And his family has asked for privacy during this. He's known as one of the NFL's most respected men. He's won the Walter Payton Man of the Year. Well, not one, he was a nominee for that. And obviously, it's a horrific loss connected to his family. And so we're sending love and light out to him. And lastly, get ready. Tyler Perry's Why Did I Get Married Again is set to premiere on Netflix September 9th. The sequel is bringing back key cast members Tyler, Jill Scott, Tasha Smith, Michael J. White, Richard T. Jones, Sharon Leal, Lamont Rucker, and Taraji P. Henson has joined the cast, right? And the story centers around the next generation wedding of Marcus and Angela's daughter, and it involves a destination wedding setup. So it's dropping on Netflix next month. The people asked for it, so get ready, right? Shout outs to that. This franchise has been working. One thing is clear, Black audiences love this friend group. Mess or not, good clothes, unresolved resentment, it's all there. So where's Janet? Touring, I suppose. I don't know. When we come forward, more trending topics and headlines. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like head administrator for a state-of-the-art surgical center.
What can I do for you, Doc?
We need to talk about the lights.
Ah, the mood lighting, relaxing, right? Much better than those old hospital vibes.
A hospital's supposed to have hospital vibes.
You seem tense. Let's dim the lights a bit.
This is the job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed-sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Back to school starts now. Get long-lasting battery life on the Dell XPS laptop powered by Series 3 Intel Core so you can work from anywhere. Now starting at $699 with exclusive student pricing starting at $599. Complete your setup with savings on select monitors and must-have electronics and accessories. Limited time deals and free shipping on PCs and more await you at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Tired of being locked out of job opportunities and shut down by systemic racism? KBLA Talk 1580 stands with you in fighting for the rights of black workers, and we don't black down. The Los Angeles Black Workers Center is a dynamic alliance of workers, organized labor, community-based organizations, clergy, students, and scholars working collectively to improve the position of the black working class. The LA Black Workers Center takes a comprehensive approach to addressing the black jobs crisis. Their programs promote access to quality jobs, racial equity in hiring and retention, discrimination-free job sites, and they prepare black workers for employment in high-wage career track jobs. The LA Black Workers Center supports workers who need help protecting their rights on the job. They give workers access to quality jobs and remove systemic barriers to employment. And they are advocating for a fair deal for black workers in the new Los Angeles City Charter. To sign up for free career readiness training, get involved in organizing, or learn about union apprenticeship programs and trade registries, please visit lablackworkercenter.org. That's lablackworkercenter.org. Together, we can beat the black jobs crisis and build a more equitable Los Angeles. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This November, you'll decide who leads California. So shouldn't you hear directly from the people asking for your vote? Join us for California Voices, a political town hall and ballot forum, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026. Meet candidates running for governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, and other major statewide and local offices, including Mayor of Los Angeles, city attorney, and LA County Sheriff. Get clear, nonpartisan breakdowns of the propositions on your November ballot, both sides, no spin. And ask your questions directly, in real conversation, face to face. California Voices is brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the Empowerment Congress, giving you the information you need before you vote. Mark your calendar, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026, California Voices. Follow KBLA 1580 for details and download the KBLA 1580 app. Your vote, your voice. Be there.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Talk 1580. That's Chloe Bailey, right? Is that from her and Timbaland's mixtape? Oh, so, well, Chloe Bailey and Timbaland dropped a mixtape. I think it was last week. I like them together. I think that he allows her to do her, but gives some texture around it, and I hope they work together more. Happy birthday, Chloe. Shout out to her. I know y'all be giving Chloe fever, but I like her. So big ups to that. Welcome back in, KBLA Talk 1580. Listen, one thing before I I'll drop the business first. 800-920-1580. That's the number to get in on the conversation. Of course, you can hit us up on social media, KBLA 1580. I'm at Stiletto Jill everywhere. Or hop into the YouTube chat with the VIPs. Shout out to them. You can get the visual to go along with the audio experience, of course. And, have a good time. All right, listen, one more piece of news that I forgot before we get to the topics of the evening. Rest in peace to Victor Willis, formerly of the Village People. He passed away at 74. He is the original lead singer and co-writer behind the Village People's hits, including YMCA, In the Navy, and Go West. He passed away yesterday, June 30th, at the age of 74, after a brief but aggressive illness, according to reports. He is a reminder that a pop song can outlive every argument. People have their thoughts around YMCA. It was a disco song. Disco was criticized at the time. It's become a sports camp classic, a political rallying cry, apparently. Wedding receptions, a survival tool, all of the things. So, and Victor survived a great deal. He was formerly married to Felicia Rashad at one point, believe for about 4 years, maybe 77 to around 82-ish, somewhere around there. So, sending thoughts and prayers. And it is All Up in the Business Wednesdays. So, I am not alone breaking down the commentary. I am joined by business strategist, author, entrepreneur, owner of Glow and Flow Beauty and Slay Hair 3 Ys. Happy birthday, Slay Hair. Damon Haley is in the building.
Yay, the mic and video's hot.
Shout out to DA.
Yeah. What's up, everybody in the chat, everybody out there listening?
you know.
Let's get into it.
Happy birthday to Slay Hair.
Slay Day. Can you believe it? Yeah, 3rd year. We were celebrating over at Glow and Flow, and tremendous accomplishment, great learning. So we in this hair thing, about to go to China next month to get in it even deeper. Ooh.
I like the sound of that because it's about business. It's about making moves and ownership and, taking it to the next level.
That's right.
But tonight's topics, right, though we're covering business, we're going to talk a little image and branding. But first up, we were talking about Danny Glover's diagnosis. He was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, he said a couple of years ago. He came out and spoke about it today. It's deeply personal, obviously. And he's a black man who spent his career speaking for justice, and now he's speaking for himself while he still can. We know that Alzheimer's can be devastating, but he is controlling the narrative before the illness does, right? And it's about, aging, the power of telling your own story, and about these health conversations that we need to have as black people. Earlier this week, we talked about Chris Johnson, former NFL player who was diagnosed with ALS, and the conversation has started bubbling up. I asked the question immediately about the tie to football and if the NFL is going to research this, or what are the conversations. And there's been so many conversations around black men and their health and their mental health. This is obviously a report that it's hard to hear because we have grown with Danny in drama and humor, from The Color Purple to Lethal Weapon to any number of any other films that he's been a part of. He said he began noticing memory changes around 2022 and that he was diagnosed in 2023. He received the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award at the Academy's Governor Awards in 2022. And 7.4 million Americans aged 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's and dementia in 2026. And older black Americans are twice as likely to have Alzheimer's and or other dementia as white Americans, right? And among black Americans 70 and older, Alzheimer's, it says that 21% are living with Alzheimer's disease. So that's almost a quarter of our population over 70. So we have the highest prevalence of the disease and related dementias compared with other racial ethnic groups. And, black men are socialized to push through symptoms, right? And ignore vulnerability and stay useful. And so I want to talk a bit about owning your narrative with health and how that should be a part of the conversation much earlier when it comes to black men and their health. And what are your thoughts about that? Because we know, as someone who is leading several businesses and have your hands across many things, oftentimes health may not, for a lot of people, take priority. So how do you think that there's a great way to work in health, mental health, all of it within your day-to-day stresses?
Well, you have to believe it that health is the wealth, right? Because if you are unhealthy, unable to do anything, then you're not a service to yourself or to your people. And in the end, I've been around a lot of death. People not worried about their cars, their money, their clothes, all that kind of stuff. So in the end, you do want more great health, And so for me, it's real easy. I get up every morning with making myself stronger in some way. I went and got a curl bar. I go old school with it, And so
old
it's
school
just
calisthenics.
So it's just like that jump rope, the simple stuff. I don't really have time to go to a gym. So I got to do everything in an 8x8 square in my driveway or in my backyard. So I got medicine balls. I got, the little ab roller wheel thing. That's it. And I curb my diet. So my birthday's at the end of the month. I guess it might be public information, July 27th. So I know today I'm going on a I call it the H stroll. H is for Haley. The H stroll till the 26th. So I can just, eat what I want on the 27th. And that means drinking a lot of water. If God didn't make it, I ain't taking it kind of stuff, just getting off the processed foods and stuff. So that's a choice I make because I have seen the death of a couple of brothers and a dad and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, the day after my dad passed, I cleaned chitlins out of the refrigerator. Day after my brother died, going through his pockets, he had cigarettes. They were just like, they going down with the ship kind of thing. But it's about that quality of life. And so if you want that in your older age, you got to have it. And we got to be real honest. We black people react differently to the foods that we eat today. We don't medicate ourselves, even because we don't test a lot. The pharmacy don't have remedies for us.
Because we haven't been involved in those trials.
We ain't involved in that. So I think we have to really realize that and check each other. Like the other day, I saw a friend in the wild. I said, "Hey man, you bowling now?" He's like, "No." Well, what's that up under your shirt? That looked like a bowling ball. So we got to check each other. And I'll tell you, I always ask my friends three things: how's the prostate? Are you on meds with that diabetes? And then what's your blood pressure like? So those are three simple questions that should run you to the doctor.
I mean, because when you think about it, Alzheimer's is not just memory loss. It can affect language, movement, judgment, mood, independence, and that all sums up to your identity as an individual. And I mean, seeing someone like Danny Glover come out and speak about this, you don't want to think about the other side of that. He's a part of a generation of black actors who carried both art and activism and spoke out. And he came from a tradition where celebrity was not just about visibility, it was about service. And there's performative acts from some today involving that, but not nearly to the depth or, I guess, authenticity that we felt from his generation. And
I'm a sports dude, so Chris Johnson, I shook his hand. I spent some time with him, not a lot, and I thought it to be very courageous for him and his wife to come out, because just like he was on the field, he's attacking this the same way, head up, and you're still a young guy, very vulnerable.
39 years old.
Oh yeah, very vulnerable. I mean, 39, come on now, that's really young, old enough to be my younger brother, but very, very, so I was proud of CJ to do that.
Yeah, I was sharing, I met CJ a few years, when he was still actively playing, probably right around the time when he earned that nickname, really nice guy, very cool, whatever. And so I do hope that the conversation, because I've seen like Cam Newton speak out about it, some other football players. I've also seen, I wanted to ask you, what did you think the critiques of Michael Strahan not asking and Good Morning America not bringing out, or even suggesting, had he thought about or considered the connection between his condition and the fact that he played football for the majority of his life?
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's Good Morning America, and so he's produced, and so I wouldn't blame him personally. But that's a conversation he has to have with the producers and make sure that it's on brand. Now, he can come out outside of that and talk, and we'd still listen. So I didn't see it as anything extraordinary, other than it's just a topic that they did not want to talk given the demo, and because it's a big show. It's the bigger the show, the less control you have.
Indeed, indeed.
So I wasn't surprised, still disappointed, but not surprised.
Do you think that it is a fair question to ask? I mean, obviously, football players, their population get affected with the disease higher than the average. So they're just things that are coming across as far as black men, and certain things that continue to show up.
Yeah, so when you even with the concussion movie, Will Smith, great job there, and that whole thing. I mean, that dude got death threats for bringing out something that the NFL knew. So once again, I think it's still 7 out of 10 football players are black men. And the system might not care, at least it's demonstrated. It doesn't care. But we got to care about ourselves. So, yeah, are they going to be walking crazy? Yep. Them knees? Yep. Are they going to be thinking differently at a younger age? Yeah, because you getting smacked in the head a lot. So that's almost expected right? I don't know if the NFL is going to protect that, and it's hell getting your money. I know a lot of people, they make you go through hoops and hoops and hoops, so they don't make it easy. So
I feel as though they should have health care regardless. I
mean, if you look at Eric Dickerson spoke out on it on a recent All the Smoke or one of those popular joints, and I'm like, wow, he really broke it down in terms of when you fall off of your health care. You know, you don't get lifetime benefits, although you got to deal with a hit in your 30s for the next 30 years if you're going to live. So that's collective bargaining agreement and putting all that stuff in it and making sure guys are taken care of, you know, when they done. Because once you're done, you're done.
I wonder, I wonder if the Screen Actors Guild has universal health care. I mean, we've seen various people speak out about their issues, you know, but
they
I'm not
have
sure.
excellent, SAG-AFTRA have excellent care. Shout out to Craig Bayless, because he was chasing rappers down and music people, because it's SAG-AFTRA is the music, and Craig Bayless
Shout out to Craig.
Craig was out there chasing people saying, man, you got benefits. You can put your kids under your program. When you sign a record deal, back in the day, I don't know how it is now, but you had benefits when you signed the record deal.
And I know a lot of people didn't know that, because there were so many artists that needed to get a tooth fixed and were just there with a hurt tooth.
And had kids without, you know, medical care. So it's, once again, it's knowledge and leveraging it. But we know SAG-AFTRA, by and large, is not primarily African American.
Again,
so folks that know better and be taking care of themselves and they people, even if you are riding along with them.
Indeed. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into some of the social critiques of the song of the summer, Young Miami Spin That. We'll get into what prompted this conversation and see if you have any thoughts. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is praising the Supreme Court's decision rejecting President Trump's effort to end birthright citizenship.
Today's decision allows our residents to continue to live, work, and contribute to the fabric of our city without fear of losing their most fundamental right.
Johnson says the ruling reaffirms that every child born in the U.S. is a citizen after the court found Trump's executive order targeting the 14th Amendment unlawful. Actor Danny Glover is opening up about his Alzheimer's diagnosis. In an exclusive Today interview, the 79-year-old said he's been living with the disease for several years and knows things will continue to change as it progresses. And Serena Williams' return to singles play ended with a first-round Wimbledon loss to Australia's Maya Joint. The 44-year-old fell in 3 sets Tuesday in her first professional singles match since 2022. Williams will play doubles with her sister Venus on Thursday. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Stonefire Grill's Family 4-Pack is back. Feed the family for just $49. That's only $12.25 per person. Get chicken, pizza, pasta salad, and fresh-baked breadsticks. A $90 value for only $49. Order now at stonefiregrill.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Congratulations to Dodgers manager Dave Roberts, the only African-American manager in Major League Baseball. Roberts earned his 1,000th career win in the regular season as Dodgers manager. The milestone happened Tuesday night when the Dodgers beat the A's 9-3 in Sacramento. The 54-year-old Roberts reached 1,000 wins in 1,606 games. That's the fewest amount of games in Major League Baseball history for a manager to get 1,000 wins. Roberts is in his 11th season leading the Dodgers. He got his first win as the Dodgers manager on April 4th, 2016, a 15-0 win at San Diego on opening day. Roberts has led the Dodgers to 3 World Series championships. He's working on a 4th. Tuesday's win improved the Dodgers' record to 56-30, the best in Major League Baseball. The Dodgers have a 12-game lead over San Diego in the NL West. They wrap up their 3-game series against the A's tonight. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Number 14. That's where Talkers Magazine ranked Tavis Smiley on their heavy 100 list of the 100 most important talk radio hosts in America. Join Tavis weekdays, 9 a.m. to noon or 9 p.m. to midnight, only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Let's do this.
Los Angeles is listening, and finally, Los Angeles is being heard. This is KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. The headline in the newspaper read, Black leaders join forces to bring Destination Crenshaw toward the finish line. Now, beyond the headline phraseology of toward the finish line, if you actually read the article, it said that Black-owned contractors are now being mobilized, major new financing is being secured, and it is anticipated that construction activities will begin within the next weeks. That statement has more hedges than a Beverly Hills mansion, more hedges than a nervous groom's wedding vows written by a divorce lawyer. But it's funny how progress starts moving once somebody turns on a microphone. 4 weeks of KBLA editorials, and suddenly everyone has found their hard hats. It's amazing what happens when the community starts asking questions out loud, and this is why Black media matters. We don't need more empty promises. We need a finished project. Political accountability to Black fellow citizens means that elected officials and institutions must answer for their actions or inaction in ways that are real, measurable, and consequential when they fail to follow through. I suppose the good news here is that LA City Council President and 8th District Representative Marquise Harris Dawson is now officially on the record. But to be clear, he's also on the clock. Remember now, it is anticipated that construction activities will begin within the next weeks. We shall see. We have exercised our right to free speech, but there are other rights the Black business community can exercise as well. This is a classic example of a public nuisance claim if ever there was one. Again, we shall see. What I can tell you is that Black business owners and Crenshaw community residents have been calling, emailing, and literally showing up in our lobby demanding more and asking how they can sign on to this effort. Put simply, after years of delay, the people have had enough. My big mama put it this way: once a task you have first begun, never finish until it is done. Be the labor great or small, do it well or not at all. Now, I need to put on my hard hat, go outside, and wait for these procrastination Crenshaw construction crews to show up. I'll let you know if and when they do. Trust and believe. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. As always, we welcome your feedback.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
JY, turn me up. Miami. All my scammers and my kid money.
Well, all my scamming, spending that money fast. 20, 50s, 100s cash. Boy, going that go, y'all bad. Boosting, where y'all at?
Where y'all at?
Stuffing that in y'all bag. Just to flip it, pop some tags. Girl, going that go, y'all bad.
Spinach, 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 spinach. I like a gangsta, making more than 10 figures. I'm a down, riding with you in the spag. Only with the hitters for his girl here. Tricker calling up a trap phone. Where you at?
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Shout out to Young Miami. In that, Andy.
I think India.Arie is going to have an issue with you over here turning up the way you are with this song.
She might. She might. But listen, we're going to talk about that. All right. So, Young Miami is, causing a conversation right now. And I think it's an interesting juxtaposition when you think about the last 2 years of Young Miami and her profile, right? And where we've been with it, okay? Everybody is right about something in this. I will say that. But everybody is dodging a little bit of something too, okay? So let's get into it. India.Arie, as well as Nicci Gilbert, formerly of Brownstone, have come out criticizing Young Miami's Spin That, right? It's the summer anthem, as I've stated. And they're asking different questions. They are asking, when the crowd is singing every word, what exactly are we celebrating? So, the argument is simple. Respectability politics, real responsibility, and female rap, right? So, old heads hate fun. We can put it in that position, Young rappers are destroying the culture. We can put it from that angle. But it's a critique of harmful messaging, respectability politics. And when the artist is a woman being critiqued by two other women, is it avoiding the real questions, or is it just doing too much for a fun little ditty bop, okay? So this is what India.Arie had to say, right? So when Spin That, I talked about it on Monday, Young Miami hit the stage of the BET Awards, and the entire arena, auditorium, theater, was singing Spin That, right? I felt it was a miss that BET didn't have her perform on the awards. However, India.Arie saw it and saw something else. She felt that the entire idea that people are celebrating and singing about a scammer, she didn't understand it. She didn't understand why these lyrics were important. She said that, basically this is where our head's at. People came at her saying, why are you calling for a boycott? Why are you going against a black woman? And she clarified her position. She said, I did not say that I think anyone needs to boycott this song. I said it's a sign of where we are as a culture, that this song has been widely accepted. She said that's facts. I think that people should do whatever they want. And then she was battling in the comments, right? She said, and meanwhile, I'll do whatever I want. I also said that the way we are embracing the song says a lot about where we are as a culture, which is facts. And someone responded to her, start with the people. You're the one person. She said, start with the people. I'm sorry, this is a commentator. In your generation that rapped and sang those ways for years before this generation. Don't just out her. Lil' Kim, Foxy Brown, Salt and Pepper, DeBrat. Before that, Betty Davis, Millie Jackson. Even in the 20s, Lucille Bogan. No generation was any better than the next. The 70s and the 80s were worse. Facts, right? India.Arie's response to this is, you're the one person I'm going to answer today. I've been speaking about this since my first television appearance in 2001 with Bill Maher. What year were you born in? She was asking the commenter. Obviously, we know India.Arie's big breakout single was Video. I'm not the average girl in the video. Love Me for the Way I Am, brown skin, all of the things, right? She said, I never said a raunchy song shouldn't exist. I think a lot of times they exist in the wrong context. But I've said that many, many times, many, many ways. Some other comments said, we know the song is childish. We don't care. She ain't an average girl from the video that's ready for love. And ain't that the truth? He's a scammer. Screw it. Spin it, right? Look, I get it. I really do. Because, it's talking about scamming and boosting and thieving and not ways that are going to solidify you long term. They're going to end up, in most cases, potentially in a bad path, in a bad way, right? Jail, whatever, bad situations. But most people that are rocking out to this are not scamming or boosting. They're simply singing along to a fire hook. Mm-hmm. And again, I understand what you feel that it is teaching. But everybody is not going to be here to educate in the way that you may see fit. Nicci Gilbert is taking it a step further. She is calling for a boycott, and she wants to ensure that Young Miami doesn't get nominated for any Grammys or any of those things when it comes to next year. Again, I think Nicci Gilbert has shown as a personality, just from what I've seen on reality TV, I do not know her personally, that she might be going a little far with things in general. What say you, gentlemen? Who wants to start?
First off, India.Arie, didn't she like cause a ruckus because she had comments about another song? Or was it she had issues with a performance with Megan Thee Stallion or something like that?
Possibly, yeah.
Mm-hmm. She's coming off like a hater. Point blank, period.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you wasn't saying anything about Ice Spice when she was popping or Glorilla when she was popping. I mean, it's really no different than Spin That. You know what I'm saying? And I get, you all about, your spiritual stuff. Hey, not everybody wants us to be spiritual. We want to turn up. Mm-hmm. And Jill, you said it great. Not everybody who's over here jamming to that Spin That is a scammer. You know what I'm saying? You probably got cats who got master's degree who's balling, who's come on now. Let's have a little bit of levity sometimes. That's all I got to say.
DH, any thoughts?
I mean, old people always going to talk about young people stuff. Because by the time you old, you realize that it ain't all that. But I think of the stuff I was partying to when I was 20 and 30, and I laugh at it now. So just let the young people do their thing. And it is the arts are always a reflection of the current time. If they drawing something, talking about something, singing it, I kind of like it. I like Little Kim back in my day. I had a moment when I met Adina Howard, I like T-shirt and panties, all that. That was who I was back then. Because I will be a
freak until the day, until the dawn.
All of that. She was one of the old, my current OG of that time.
Right.
And so we all get to have that during that time. And they'll say, we know what BET is about. BET isn't like teaching nobody nothing. It's entertaining us.
Right.
And like
it's in the name.
Like Andy said, that's just a turn up moment. And that's what people listen to when they turning up. It ain't teaching nobody nothing. It ain't leading no examples. It's just you being in a party space. And let that woman have that. It shouldn't be no boycotting, no nothing, but that's it. And we see that every couple of years. Old people always talking about that stuff. And yeah, you don't want your daughter like that. But it's okay for somebody like her to sing, long as she ain't related to me.
I mean, here the other part of this though is Young Miami has had a very volatile last 2 years. 2 years ago she was with Diddy, she was doing whatever, Carisha Please, popping, blase. People counted her out. They continued to count her out. They counted her out when City Girls first dropped, and JT had to go sit down for a minute, and she carried City Girls on her own. Right? She's likable. She,
very
now
likable.
Bars? No. But she has a voice that carries, she feels like to a lot of girls an elevated version of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
The homegirl that, was down the block or whatever. And again, people never expected Young Miami to come back from Diddy, from JT and her splitting, from all of these things, and she continues to rise. So I give her that. Andy? Oh no. Oh.
She's attractive, she's entertaining, and she's somebody people are interested in. Let her do her thing.
I think India.Arie just needs to tap into her inner ratchet. I think she suppressed that for I don't know how long. And you just need to go take off.
Be free one day.
Be free, man. Take off your little whatever wrap around your waist. Take off the little head wrap that you got and just twerk for a little bit. And see how that makes you feel, India.Arie.
She used to twerk.
DJ Black 909 says, let's not forget that India.Arie is a fully clothed, brown-skinned woman with natural hair who sang songs about black skin and songs that uplifted black people. So she knows what she's talking about. What does that mean? No one is not taking away from what she chose to do with her talent, the lane that she chose to own. There's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, there was an audience for it. But that doesn't mean that there's not an audience for this too. Yeah. And while I understand, there are people that could feel her music is harmful. That's the time that we're living in, right? But obviously I don't, but it's all about choices, Yep. And hers is for a more grounded perspective. Young Miami is about fun.
Because what would you say Indy was part of that neo-soul?
Definitely.
That had its time. But even that was kind of small, if you will.
It was, considered niche. I mean, she definitely had a moment, and I can certainly understand her frustration, because if you were to put them up against each other, they obviously are the exact opposites of each other as far as, theme, vibe, presentation, all of those things. And so, the whole India.Arie statement situation shows how people will intentionally distort what you actually said because you're making too much sense. I don't think anyone's distorting what she said. She said that the culture is celebrating mess and theft, and it's not a good representation for us. We get it, but what we're saying is we're having a good time over here. Times are hard enough. Everything does not need to be a dissertation.
I also think that she's looking at the culture with a tiny lens. Okay, the culture is big and vast and dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Maybe because this portion of the culture likes this song doesn't mean that they not gonna rock with you. Don't we have Essence Fest popping off or whatever?
Yeah.
This weekend.
I don't know if she's performing or whatnot, but I'm just saying it's a balance.
It is a balance. And I think that, as well as with Nicci Gilbert making that statement, I think both of them are at a point in their careers where, the music industry is cutthroat, and attention is currency in this current era for everyone, and it's hard to get it and maintain it. So it kind of feels like a little bit of sour grapes. When we come forward, we'll get into more trending topics and headlines.
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Listen up, KBLA delegation. We have something you need to hear. Right now, you may qualify for low-cost home internet. And we're not talking about a catch. This is real. Many internet service providers offer low-cost internet plans if anyone in your household is enrolled in CalFresh, Medi-Cal, SSI, or is income eligible. There are a lot of families in our community who deserve to be connected. Here's all you do. Call 844-461-7893. That's the Get Connected call center. Real people ready to help you enroll today. Or go online to internetforallnow.org to find a provider near you. You may also qualify for a low-cost computer through Human IT. Connectivity is not a luxury. In 2026, it's a necessity. And you deserve access just like everybody else. Call 844-461-7893. That's 844-461-7893. KBLA's got you. If you missed any of this, you can always go to our website at KBLA1580.com. Brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 in partnership with the California Emerging Technology Fund, CETF.
You deserve a treat, a $10 bill credit treat. If you get an LADWP paper bill but go online to pay it, stop! Break up with your mailbox. It's time to go paperless. With paperless billing, bill reminders come straight to your inbox. You can access 7 years of past bills in your online account, and you don't have to deal with paper clutter piling up. It's a win for you, your time, and the environment. $10 bill credit for new LADWP paperless billing signups. LADWP.com/paperless.
Going to a World Cup match in LA this summer? Ditch the parking stress and ride Metro. With direct service from across LA County, it's the easy way to get there for just $1.75 each way.
have something to say, and we want to hear it. KBLA Talk 1580 is engagement radio, not outrage radio. A place where your hopes, your frustrations, and your ideas are welcome 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Real talk, real people, real Los Angeles. KBLA Talk 1580, the station that sounds like the city looks. Tune in on your AM radio dial at 1580. Download our free KBLA 1580 app or listen live on our website at KBLA1580.com.
Unapologetically progressive. You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
To the MI, brrr, cat like a semi. Stole my car, won't you get mine? Yeah, black eye, oh, say bye-bye. I'ma get your body to the sky, run through your clip. You pissed, don't trip, I'ma have to bust you in your lips. And the whips, better have a whole lot of chips, cause I ain't for no giving tips. She's a, when you say my name, talk more junk, but won't look my way. She's a, see I got more cheese, so back on up while I roll up my sleeve. She's a, what? You can't see me, Joe, get on down while I shoot my flow. She's a, what? When I do my thing, got the place on fire, burn it down the flame.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Speak on it, Andy. I see you.
Listening to Missy Elliott.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Missy.
You already know. It got me thinking about Tiana Taylor.
Uh-huh.
And then I didn't want to say anything because I was like, hold on. Icon of the year. I feel like Missy Elliott obviously deserves an award like that. Now, granted, it was for the year, right? So I don't know how much work Missy has done within this year, but icon of the decade, icon of something, she deserves some sort of award like that.
She does. She does. Shout out to Missy. Like, you know, Missy is a talent. Now, listen, before we wrap up on this Chris Brown news, which is really just going to be saying, basically, his housekeeper was awarded $13 million in damages from the attack from his dog. That dog was huge. If you saw the photos online of her face, she obviously endured a great deal of pain and mental anguish. Her sister, I believe, was also working there, was awarded $850,000 for mental anguish because she witnessed the attack. And, you know, listen, I know that Chris has stalkers. We always hear about people trying to hop his fence and the protection, but if you have dogs like that are trained to go, you have to make sure that they are restrained and kept in an area that your employees won't be endangered. So that's kind of it on that. DH. So the word on the streets is that the Lakers have gone from showtime to snow time. So do you have any thoughts on the new configuration of the Los Angeles Lakers, looking like the Minnesota Lakers, dare I say?
Well, I'm not sure that team is going to compete with some of the others in the Western Conference, for one. That's just a given. I don't know a lot about the Utah dude, Kessler or whatever, but I just don't see that team scaring anybody being really concerned. They're going to have to outscore people because, you know, AR and Luka don't play defense as it is, or they're weak on the defensive end. But, you know, from a business perspective, I'm trying to figure out the marketability of this team, because the last team that I can recall, if we're just talking about black-white thing, right, was the Boston Celtics that had Ainge, McHale, and Bird starting. That's the first highly competitive team in this league that I know of that had that many, like, non-black players. I'll just say non-black players, right? So
Spurs used to kind of be like minus Tim Duncan in the middle.
Well, you still had Tony Parker,
well, that's true.
and then Ginobili was Argentine. So he wasn't, officially kind of, he still had a high melanin count, right? So I just don't, I'm surprised. I don't see how they're putting a product out there that culturally is going to get this city excited.
Andy?
Quick conspiracy theorist. Ownership. Lakers ownership.
They wanted to make over in their own
I'm kind of curious to know what his political relationships are. It's
fair. It's fair.
It's a real stretch, you know what I'm saying, to even make this statement. But I'm just kind of curious because it is interesting. I mean, you said it. It's snow time. Hey, but Walker Kessler, nice. Yep. Luka Doncic, nice. Austin Reeves, nice. There were speculation about Lakers not having any dogs. Yeah, they're white, but they got some dog in them, though.
Enough dog to get through the Western Conference?
Yeah.
Maybe not so much.
Yeah, because, I mean, you're talking about leadership, getting in people's butts and making them go, still, who's the enforcer? Not that you need a heavy one, but, who's that kind of stuff, because Luka is not a great leader, at least I've heard from the Dallas Mavericks coaching staff and management that I know personally. And I don't know about Austin Reeves because he hasn't been that alpha. And then the dude in like I said, Utah, I don't know. They didn't do that well. They weren't on the radar. But, is he that guy to lead effectively? Don't know.
I'll say this. I got faith in J.J. Redick. I think he'll do something coaching-wise that'll have them compete. And speculation as far as, spots for LeBron to go to.
Golden State.
I got one even better.
Where?
Minnesota.
I'm going to tell you, LeBron is not trying to go that far. LeBron wants to be comfortable. LeBron wants to be a hop, skip, and a jump away from home, which Los Angeles is home now. He ain't going to Cleveland. I don't know anything, but these are my feelings.
You want to win a title and have fun and be happy? Play with Ant Edwards and LaMelo Ball.
All right, listen, we're going to have to put a pin in that one. Damon Haley everywhere. Make sure you hit him up. You going to be out in Essence this weekend, DH?
No, but my beloved business partner and wife will. Check her out.
Make sure you guys hit up if you see that sleigh hair booth. All right, coming up next is Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. I'm back at it tomorrow for Front Row Live. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
'Cause I can with anybody tonight. I'm on go. I'm just trying to catch a body tonight.
I got it on me when I link her. She like that. She want me to fuck out my past, but I still fell in love with her nice hair. I see it up, he said gun in the light flash. Bow! They know I'm in love, but I'm still a demon. You better not give me a mic bag. And we don't kiss when we in front of the bros. I let her party and come to the shows. You been through the worst, ain't even fold. Then your man's had it, he ain't even blow. I'm one of a kind, ain't too many more.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is praising the Supreme Court's decision rejecting President Trump's effort to end birthright citizenship.
Today's decision allows our residents to continue to live, work, and contribute to the fabric of our city without fear of losing their most fundamental right.
Johnson says the ruling reaffirms that every child born in the U.S. is a citizen after the court found Trump's executive order targeting the 14th Amendment unlawful. Actor Danny Glover is opening up about his Alzheimer's diagnosis. In an exclusive Today interview, the 79-year-old said he's been living with the disease for several years and knows things will continue to change as it progresses. And Serena Williams